seniors who need assisted living. We are a nonprofit home founded 125 years ago for women, now seeking approval for men. Our mission has always been top-notch assisted living. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Got another great and very interesting show in store for you. At least that's what my guest told me, that it was going to be interesting and great. So we'll see. Happy to have you join us. Also, I want to say, first of all, good morning to everyone. And then secondly, good afternoon to my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown. Thanks for joining us. There's a good connection with the show today, especially with the Jamestown folks and the whole area. So you're going to find this a good and interesting show. As always, if you have a question for myself or the guest, announcement, or whatever you have in mind, give us a call, 753-5225. And some of you are calling in and leaving messages, so I get that through my earpiece, so don't be shy. If you don't want to talk on the air, that's okay. And for those that are listening on WRFA, if you have a question or a comment after the show, you always can send it to us. And go to our Facebook page or check us out on YouTube or whatever. And you can send a question along. We'll get back to you on that. Okay, well, the story of today is the wind, huh? They're calling for some pretty strong winds tomorrow. And I was out strapping things down and tying things down, taking things into the house. But where I live on the escarpment in Ripley, I mean, if things haven't blown away by now, they're not going to go anywhere. But they said like 70-some mile an hour winds. I'm going like, I think that's my upper threshold for wind. So we took a few extra precautions. But one of the things that a lot of people are forgetting about are their grills. Those things can roll or they can flip. So I encourage you to think about that a little bit. Walk around your yard today and think about what are the things that could maybe end up being projectiles coming at your house. Also, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a flashlight ready in case power goes down, because I know the winds are supposed to kick up, I think, late tomorrow afternoon and into the evening, and we may have some power outages, who knows. So just be prepared. All right, I want to do a shout out to Jack DiAugustino, the publisher at The Observer. He and I were chatting the other day and said he watches the show. And I said, well, that makes 6 of you now. We have a lot of people who watch the show. I'm just playing. But thanks, Jack, for checking in with us. And he did a presentation at our Rotary Club, did a great job, and really enjoyed talking with him. I haven't seen him in a while. St. Patrick's Day weekend is coming up. I know it's about a couple weeks away, but it's coming fast and furious, and you're going to see a lot of announcements that have to do with that weekend and so forth. But I always do my self-serving announcements that I like to share with you, because I know some of you do come out and see me play when Will and I are out playing in the various venues in the area. So the first one that's coming up on March 10th, which is only a couple weeks away, we're going to be at the Horseshoe Inn in Onaville. So that's a fundraiser for the St. Mary Cemetery out there. But we've played there the last couple of years, and if you're interested, it's going to be like early afternoon, like 2 o'clock or something like that. And we play for 3 hours, and it's always a good time. I have a bunch of other engagements coming up, and I'll talk about those in a future show here. We're gonna do this every week. I already warned you on this. We're gonna pop up our picture. Jeff calls us the Three Amigos, but we are the Chautauqua Sunrisers, and we're gonna be riding for cancer again this year for the Ride for Roswell. And there we are from last year, and we had a really fun time. That was a nice ride. We did 30 miles last year together, and so you got Randy Burt and Jeff Zook and myself. And the reason why we're mentioning this is, number one, we really support the Ride for Roswell and the search for the cure for cancer, various cancers. And we encourage you to support it as well, because many, many people from down this area go to Roswell, and that's just helping each other, paying it forward. And we're going to do the 34-mile ride this year out in the country, so I'm looking forward to that. But gosh, I wish the weather would straighten up here soon so we can get out there and start getting ready. Anyways, if you're so inclined, go to the Ride for Roswell website, look up any one of our names, and if you want to pop in $10 or something like that, we appreciate it. We don't get any of the money. We're here to raise money, and you also can look under Chautauqua Sunrisers. That's the name of our team. If you're so inclined, also, if you want to ride with us, let us know, and we'll add you to our team, because I know there are a number of people here in Chautauqua County, especially they can do virtual rides. All right, Jeff just whispered that in my ear. So there's a lot of different ways you can support that. And so the show, we've been supporting this for the last few years, and we hope you do too. Okay, I got a bunch of announcements and a few things to share with you. And always, if you have a spaghetti dinner or a fundraiser or something you want us to know about, send it along. A lot of times I get emails, or it pops up with Chris over here at the studio, and it's free of charge, and that's what this show is all about, sharing the good stuff here in Chautauqua County. Okay, we're going to start in Jamestown, and this is the 5th annual art market and auction. Infinity will be hosting their 5th art market and auction on Saturday, March 9th from 11 p.m. to 4 p.m. No, that's got to be 11 a.m., Chris. 11 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m. That day at the Infinity Arts Cafe in Jamestown. This event will be a mid-campaign celebration to Infinity's Step Up for the Arts annual campaign event. The art market will feature the work and it's on sale from an eclectic variety of talented local artists, an art auction of locally made art, auction proceeds to benefit Infinity, an array of fun, family, and arts-based activities, including Infinity Art Show. Infinity's art market and auction features 20 or more artists each year and is a great way to show support for Chautauqua County's visual arts community. Now, I'm going to skip ahead here and just give you some of the featured artists, because some of them you may know. I'm going to do my best to pronounce everybody's name correctly. Some of them are a little trickier than others. Okay, here we go. Ashley Ordinas, Jacob Swanson, Kate Rinko, Kate's been on the show, Lisa Offhouse, Catherine Walsh, Susan Schwartz, Lori McGrath, Linda Serto, John Andrea, Renee Pye, Mariah Melendi, Daniel Marchini, Marie Stewart, and a whole lot more. The local artist Infinity Program staff member Ashley Ordinas told them, "This is my 3rd IAMA event, and it continues to be one of my favorite events to participate in as an artist. This year I took on organizing the student art show portion in hopes of showcasing our amazing art students and all of their hard work. I'm so proud of them and can't wait to share what they've created." So the show, it's $5 for the art market and to get in. And if you want more information or you wish to participate, call 664-0991. Okay, I don't know about you all, but we've got a number of art pieces at our house, and they range anywhere from a print of Winnie the Pooh that came from the Disney studios all the way up to some mass-produced art print that we just happen to like and framed. So art really makes our lives brighter. Okay, Rolling Hills Radio Hour, February 25. It's going to be held on Monday, the 25th, Shawbucks, downtown Jamestown, New York. Rolling Hills Radio will present a celebrated Americana figure, Molly O'Brien. She'll be joined by the extraordinary guitarist in the genre, Rich Moore. Also on the bill is the instrumental prodigy, Aaron Lipp. Molly and her husband, Rich Moore, have nearly 30 years quietly made, wait a minute, I don't write this stuff. Molly and Rich have 30 years together in their mission to find in mind and reinvent other artists' songs. They are geniuses at the craft of interpretation in the way that great singers since the beginning of popular American music have made songs of their own era. They made these songs of their era their own. Whew. As songwriters, they add their own tunes to the canon of American root music. They inhabit and show us they completely are at home with their musical selves. Appearing with her is one of the most well-respected guitarists in the country, her husband, Rich Moore. Okay, she's been on the Prairie Home Companion, she's been at NPR, and all kinds of places. Let's talk about Aaron a little bit. Aaron Lipp is a young player from the Finger Lakes region of New York State. He's a veteran of the Great Blue Heron Festival, so maybe you've seen him. Aaron is rapidly making a name for himself. Let's see. Ken Harley, the host, says, I met Aaron backstage late one night at the Blue Heron just prior to his performance. As we talked, I was impressed with what an engaging fellow he was, and this guy is an incredible musician. So if you're interested, tickets are only $15. The show starts at 6:30. They have an open kind of happy hour from 5:30 to 6:15. Then the bar closes. They do the show, have an intermission for about 10 minutes. You can get some beverages then, and then the show continues. And the fun thing about this is that it's taped. It's a TV show that'll be aired later on throughout the state, I guess, on various stations. So Rolling Hills Radio, Ken Harley and Company, sounds like a lot of fun, $15. Give them a call if you're interested at 294-0416. Okay, this is just in. This is a new one. Bloom Front Yard Garden Recognition Project. Wow. The Northern Chautauqua Bloom Front Yard Garden Recognition Project is a way for the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation to publicly acknowledge homeowners and renters who contribute to the curb appeal of their neighborhoods while inspiring others to take part in creating a more beautiful, vibrant Northern Chautauqua County. It's not a contest. It's a way to say thank you. So, who's eligible? Community garden clubs, revitalization groups, municipalities, civic organizations. They're looking for community partners and leaders who wish to acknowledge those who make our communities bloom with vibrancy, beauty, and color. Groups are encouraged to submit their letters of interest by March 15th. And let's see, the recognition of front yard gardens and landscaping will take place between July 8th through the 29th. So obviously you're going to need to register, get the plants working and blooming. And if you're interested, there's going to be an information session this week, February 26th, Tuesday, from noon to 1 at the Foundation's office at 212 Lakeshore Drive West in Dunkirk. If you want more information, give them a call at 366-4892. Again, right with art, flowers sure make a lot of difference in our lives. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? Girl Scout camp. Okay, just a reminder, Girl Scouts of Western New York. Summer camp registration is now open for all girls grades K through 12. Summer camp is a great way for girls to explore leadership, build skills, and develop a deep appreciation for nature. Whether a day, a week, or longer, Girl Scout camp gives girls an opportunity to grow, explore, and have fun in all environments under the guidance of caring, trained adults. For busy parents, before and after care is an option, and transportation is available for day camp. I didn't know that. The Girl Scouts also offers financial aid opportunities. And for more information on the summer camp, you can talk to your local leaders or go to gswny.org. gswny.org. My daughter Stephanie went to Girl Scout camp and she just loved it and still has fun stories that she shares every once in a while about snakes and raccoons and dealing with all that fun stuff. Okay, the Jamestown Chamber of Commerce honors a number of local businesses and individuals during its annual salute to the finest. Monday, March 4th, coming up at Chautauqua. It's a popular place. These awards are presented annually and pay tribute to some of the outstanding organizations and people who make the Jamestown region special. This year, the awards will be presented as follows. New Business of the Year, the Chautauqua Harbor Hotel. I hear it's fabulous. Manufacturer of the Year, Cummins Incorporated. Retailer of the Year, Wegmans. Restaurant of the Year, Lena's Pizza. Young Business Persons of the Year, Joe and Olivia Town, the new owners of Pace's Pizzeria. Service to Humanity Award is the UK Ministry. The Pride of Jamestown Award goes to the Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts. And the Business of the Year is the Lakeshore Paving. Salute to the Finest is sponsored by Alstrom Schaefer Electric, Elegant Edibles in Chautauqua. Let's see, there's a cash bar at 5 p.m., dinner program to start at 6, cost is $32, for chamber members, $35 for non-chamber members, and they got all kinds of things you can order, groups of, like a group table and so forth. For more information, give them a call at 484-1101. Okay, this is brand new, just came in. Chicken and biscuit dinner. Okay, it's going to be held Monday, March 11th. Mark your calendar from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. I hear this is a sellout every year. It's going to be held at the First Presbyterian Church, Porter Street in Westfield. Tickets are only $10. Children 5 and under, no, $5 for children under 10. Let me say that again. Tickets are $10 for adults. Children under 10 are $5. Takeout is available, and this is sponsored by the Westfield Memorial Hospital Auxiliary. And of course, they are awesome folks that support the Westfield Memorial Hospital and have done some fabulous renovations at the hospital and just make the place a whole lot more pleasant, and we thank you for that. Okay, moving along. ShamRock and Roll celebration. Cool title. The Chautauqua Children's Safety Education Village is gearing up to celebrate St. Patrick's Day on Saturday, March 16th, with a community-wide St. Patrick's Day party at Chautauqua Suites, located just down the road, 215 West Lake Road in Mayville. The ShamRock and Roll celebration will feature the classic rock band Reset to Vinyl. There'll be dinner, dancing, basket raffle, drink specials, and a whole lot more. Remember, this is a fundraiser, so tickets are $50 a person and includes entry into their 3 big cash jackpots, $1,000, $500, $250, and $50 back for every 50th ticket drawn. Dinner and entertainment sounds like a great time. Festivities will kick off with appetizers at 6 p.m. and dinner will include a huge selection of food stations to include a taco bar, slide bar, potato bar, salad bar, burger bar. Justin, are you listening? And pasta bar. Green desserts will be featured as well, and after-hours pizza party at Bellini's. Everyone is encouraged to don their green apparel and strike a pose for the photo booth. Sounds like a great time. If you're interested, give them a call at 720-0564, or you can call the Safety Village at 338-1070. And you know I'm a big supporter of the Children's Safety Education Village. They need funds to keep things rolling, to keep our kids safe, and so the kids learn all about safety. So if that's what you're interested in, give them a call, get the tickets, go. It's going to be a great night. Okay, what else we got here? Slide 20, Chautauqua Lake Child Care Center Scholarship. Fun. They're going to have a fundraiser. Okay, and I have to look at the day for this. Okay, same day. So we got a lot of competition for that day for St. Patrick's Day. So March 16th, tickets are $20, and music will be the band for the people, formerly TPT. There's going to be snacks, 3 wine tastings, an evening of entertainment, prizes. Tickets also include a chance for the door prize. I don't know what it is. The event will benefit the scholarship program at the Chautauqua Lake Child Care Center, a nonprofit organization providing care and education for young children. So that's right down the road from here, and that's going to be over in Westfield on the 16th of March. Okay, keeping moving along. Chautauqua Chamber Singers. Okay, Lakeshore Center for the Arts. My good friends over in Westfield, they're sponsoring this. They're having the Chautauqua Chamber Singers, and they're doing a program, Centuries of Love Songs. It's going to be directed by Rebecca Ryan, accompanist Charles Johnson. Also, Sue Tillotson and the Bonnie Luck Fiddlers will be there. March, guess what, 16th at 4 p.m. So you can listen to their music, you can run over to the suites and have some fun over there and go through all those food bars, and then you can run over to 21 Brooks and have some fun over there as well. This is going to be at the First Presbyterian Church in Westfield. And then on, let's see here, March 17th at 4 p.m., the same program the next day at the First Presbyterian in Jamestown. No admission charge, free will offering. Woo. Okay, celebrate St. Patrick's Day in downtown Jamestown, March 16th, same day. Let's see what's going on. Once again, this year, the Jamestown Community Chamber will join many partners to turn the river green for St. Patrick's Day. This fun community celebration will take place along the Riverwalk in Brooklyn Square. Everyone is welcome to come from 10:30 a.m. to noon. Turn the river green at 11 and so forth. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, I think we're gonna, one more. Mark your calendars, Flapjack fundraiser. It's going to be at the Applebee's in the Northern Chautauqua County Foundation is hosting the Short Stacks for a Tall Cause, and this is going to support local schools through the Service Learning Mini Grant Program. So let's see, March 23rd, tickets are $6. They're going to have basket raffles and all kinds of stuff. If you're interested for tickets, 366-4892. I've run out of breath. Please think about supporting these projects. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Each one of our journeys keeps us young.
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
We'll never get older. Each one
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Okay, well, I want to welcome back someone that's no stranger to the show here, John Paul Wolfe, museum curator at the McClurg Mansion in Westfield. John, welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being patient through all the community announcements. A lot of stuff going on in this county, isn't it?
It is.
And that's just our little part of the world. The rest of the county, the other programs cover it and so forth in the newspapers. So, John, you and I were in contact some time ago, and well, actually, I was announcing the fact that the museum was closed. And and here you to give us the update and so forth. So what's been going on?
Well, first of all, before we get into that,
sure.
I'd like to announce our season events.
All right,
a little
go
bit.
for it. I'm going to write them down here.
Our first event is our annual meeting and a speaker series, and it's April 27th, which is a Saturday, and it will be at the Lakeshore Assembly of God right on East Main Street where we were last year. It's a great facility and lots of parking. And our annual meeting is 11:30, and luncheon is at noon, and it's $15. You have to have a reservation for the luncheon, so please call. We're taking reservations now. If you don't want to go to the luncheon, our speaker is at 1 o'clock, and that's free. So 1 o'clock, same place, and our speaker this year is Jacob Ludus III. He was connected in Westfield. He was a teacher, and he's gone on for some great things. He has just written a new book called The Thread in the Fabric, and it's about the Chautauqua-Erie region prior to 1865. Wow. And he's going to focus on Chautauqua County. It should be a phenomenal talk, especially because I've heard that he is great as a speaker, and the topic should be great. So we're expecting a lot of people.
Promise me you're going to send me all this, and we'll keep announcing.
I'll hand you this
All right, then we will continue.
And then we have our normal stuff. We have the Book and Paper Show coming up, the Antique Show, our Civil War reenactment, and the fundraiser event. I'm not going to give you the dates on that. You can have those.
Right.
Those are all happening. And during the Civil War reenactment, we have a guy coming in as a special talk, which is Rick Barham. He's out of California, and he's been doing a lot of research on the 72nd New York Infantry, which is pretty much all coming from Chautauqua County. And so he'll be talking about that at St. Peter and Paul's Church, right on the park.
Right on the side there.
And that will be on the Saturday. And all of our events are free of charge. And then we have, what's the next one after that? Speaker series, we have the 150th anniversary of Brooks Locomotive. And so Roy Davis is going to be talking. That's going to be at Point Gratiot. That's in August, and that's a picnic where you bring a potluck, you bring your food, and we provide some of the stuff, and he's be talking about that. And then finally in October, the date hasn't been verified yet, but History of Brewing in Chautauqua County. So if you're still able to drink after the after the St. Patrick's Day events,
right.
Where this is in October, and
I think that'll
be
right time for Oktoberfest.
Right, yes, and it's all because of all the new breweries and the microbreweries in the county and everything. And Bob Johnson is going to be talking about old breweries in the county, so the history of them.
Old school.
So that's
now. This is not just the McClurg. This is the Chautauqua Historical.
The Chautauqua County Historical Society.
Right.
McClurg is the home of it.
Right.
So we're all the same, really. So that's the story there, and I'll give you those so I don't forget that.
Okay, thank you. You know, I made a mental note to ask you this, and maybe you've answered this in the past. You were an educator.
30 years.
An art teacher, right? How'd you get involved with a historical museum and historical society and all that? I mean,
I'm not really sure.
Somehow, because
Yeah,
people ask me all the time, how'd you get on this, or how'd you do whatever.
Yeah.
So
For all my life, I've played around with antiques and restored for antique dealers and things like that. So, and I've done that since I was in 8th grade. So I've got a long history of that. When I ended up inheriting the family home in Westfield, and then I retired, looking for things to do, and I got involved with far too many things, like with the dog rescue and the library and various things. And finally, I said, enough. I can do one thing, and so I got on the board at the museum, and then we reorganized, and I ended up with taking on the
curator,
yeah. So that's how it all evolved.
So, just if we can digress just for a minute, what does a curator do?
Well, I'm responsible for all the stuff in the building, and the people and the volunteers.
There's a lot of stuff in that building.
Yeah. And all the volunteers. So we're open Tuesday through Saturday year round. Once we reopen this week, so we only give tours. So I have to have the people trained to give the tours, a different person every day, pretty much. And then while they're not doing tours, we try to make sense of our collection. We have and we're getting more stuff in all the time, but we have a collection of, we think, between 400,000 and 500,000 items in that building. Most of it's paper, diaries, documents, Civil War diaries that are amazing, World War I diary. I mean, it's just an amazing collection. People don't realize what we have. So if you go in the museum, it's just the little tippy top of the iceberg of what's actually there.
I can't remember who showed me one day. We were walking around, I don't know, and they were showing me sort of like behind the scenes rooms. And I'm going, wow, I didn't even know these rooms existed. I mean,
that's where everything's stored.
Full of stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, I took my granddaughter there a couple times, and she just loves it. I got to tell you, my favorite spot is in the basement. I love all that stuff down there. There's way
some
cool.
amazing stuff.
Yeah. So it was just one of those things you sort of got interested in and just followed through, and they gotcha.
Sucked in.
But you know, I've often wondered, because we were talking about genealogy earlier before we went on the air, and I have an interest in antiques and things like that. And what's the mission of the whole historical society, the mission of McClurg? Why do you do it?
To preserve the history of Chautauqua County.
Okay. Of the whole county.
Of the whole. We're the county. Even though we're in Westfield, a lot of people still get confused. We are not the Westfield Historical Society. We are the County Historical Society. So we have stuff from everywhere: Dunkirk, Fredonia, Jamestown, you name it. The whole county we have items from. And preserve.
When people go back and they look at widgets that are sitting around and they had no idea, oh, that's how you make candles, or that's how you cord an apple, or I'm making this up.
And I've got all those things there.
Right, but I mean, it's fascinating because in many cases that they were the prototypes of things that we use now, except now we hook electricity to them or the remote or whatever, and also, you know, I think you folks do a justice to those original Native Americans that were here prior to Europeans coming here. And to me, that's absolutely fascinating to know who was here before,
right.
and see all that sort of
Yeah, our major First Nations room,
yeah.
our major display is on the Erie Indians and really not Senecas at all. It's all long before Senecas.
Right.
So.
And I just love all that stuff.
And mastodons. We have
that's
mastodon
right,
boats.
That's right.
You name it, we've got it from the beginning
everything.
till the present day.
That's super. So we were announcing the fact that you were closed, and because you were doing something really important there, and so you brought a bunch of pictures. And in respect of for our listeners on WRFA, let's describe the pictures as they pop up.
Okay.
Can we do
Sounds
that?
good. Yep.
All right. So let's make sure we do that, because that's really the crux of today's show is about what y'all did. So Jeff, whenever you're ready, let's go in the order that John brought them. And here we go.
And the order is correct.
And the order is correct. So
hopefully it stays that way. So what happened was it took us several years to raise. We raised $150,000.
Wow.
And it's for approximately 12 projects. And those 12 projects were determined to be life-threatening or building-threatening. So we'd either, the building would fall down on somebody or it would just fall down. So we had to, this is the first phase. So we're already working on phase 2. But we got that, and then our military room is a separate funding from that $150,000. So that's another $10,000 we've raised for that as a separate entity.
Okay.
So anyway, so we got the money. We started last spring. You can see that's the flat roof that's been leaking for 100 years at least, and it was all completely rebuilt and it doesn't leak anymore, and that was because right below it is our military room, so it was, we haven't had the military space open for years. And so now it's all dry and it's fixed. And
I'm always amazed that we have flat roofs on a number of buildings in this county.
I know. Well, that wasn't an original. It was an addition that was put on to make a bedroom upstairs bigger.
Okay.
And so that's why the flat roof has been a nightmare since it was put on. And when they took the roof off, of course, then you have surprises like there's asbestos up there. So we had to do all of that with a guy for an extra $350 to stand and watch, yeah. While that happened. But anyway, that was, so that alone, that's the aerial view of that flat roof. It's very small. It's $14,000. And you can see that was just done about 2 weeks ago. There's a little snow in the corner where that's where all the water drains down. It's all been recontoured, and it's hopefully it will last for and not leak ever again, in my lifetime at least.
And hopefully that's a good long time.
So that's completed. That project is done. That was done last.
So you raise $150,000. Where does that money come from?
About $60,000 of it came directly from us, from saving for years, from memberships, from donations, those kinds of things. So once we had that in place, then we went to foundations and asked for that.
Some matching grants.
And well, they weren't actually matching grants, but it
better.
made it much easier for us to say, we put our own money in here. Can you help us out? And so that's how it worked.
Any foundations you want to do a shout out to?
Chautauqua Region Foundation.
Very nice.
It's been so long since I was dealing with that. Somebody's going to yell at me.
Oh, it's all right.
They're all the Jamestown
local
ones.
folks. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't go to Northern Chautauqua because we always go to them for some smaller projects.
Right.
They just recently paid for our interior storm windows, which is a whole different entity.
Okay.
So, but
All right.
they're mostly the Jamestown.
So you had this one roof that had to be repaired because
So
it
that's
was making a mess of things.
step one.
All right, step
Okay.
one. So let's keep on going.
Okay, so now this is more the life-threatening thing. If you've been in the building, the back entrance, you'll notice there are some large cast iron sewer and pipes there, and gas
Those are
pipes.
sewer pipes?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I've been by those a million times.
Yes, and you see there's wide stairs going down to the basement.
Correct.
Well, what happened was in 1950, when we moved in there, some not smart person, architect, took out a bearing wall. Well, you don't take out a bearing wall.
No.
That was 1950 to get the stairs to go to the basements because we have all those things in the basement, which is fine. And then in 1976, one of the interns came in and discovered that the entire ceiling was collapsing. Now, there were no pipes for those 20 years. So he immediately ran over to the plumber across the street, Hyde, and he came over, and that's why we have the sewer pipes, cast iron pipes, and those big discs. And they put them up.
These are just pipes. They're not. There's no sewage going through.
Oh no, they're just to hold up the roof of the ceiling. That's our storage above that.
You know, that's where I always come in with my band equipment, right?
Right.
And I've always wondered what those pipes were.
Well, they're not there anymore. Anyway, so that was a temporary fix.
Well, it was a good fix.
In 1976, a temporary fix. Let's go back to that sewer pipe thing again for a minute. If you can go backwards, or if not, well, too bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that we had to get that done because the whole place above it is our storage above that. So all of the joists were replaced. We have a new beam going in there, and we tried to design the space to look as close to what the original was. That area there was originally 2 pantries that opened off the kitchen with walls in both places.
So let's describe this for our listeners. So it looks like you have, I guess we would call those a banister or a post.
Which were way too low, didn't meet code either.
So these are maybe about 2.5 feet high with a flat cap. And then they took the sewer pipe with like a round disc, and that sits on top of this little post. And then the sewer pipe goes up from there. And then at the top of the sewer pipe, it looks like about maybe 2.5, 3 feet across, a big metal
plywood. No, it's just plywood.
Oh, okay.
Because keep in mind, at the time, it was a wooden ceiling.
Okay.
So the guys who were fixing it had no idea where the joists were.
Oh, so
they just put big things up there, and they guessed pretty well.
So it was just propping up
the ceiling so it didn't come down.
With 2 of these sewer pipes.
3 of them. There's 3 actually. Yep.
Oh, there's 3?
There's another one over in the corner.
Oh, I see it.
Yep.
Okay, I guess I never noticed that one.
Yeah, so that's what it looked like until June. So in June, you can see the contractors came in and replaced all that, and you can see the end result in the next picture.
Okay, so let's go to the next one, Jeff.
No, I'm not the end result.
There you go.
So that's a little deceiving. It's wide for some reason. It's not that wide. Anyways, you can see where the railing is going down.
Yeah.
And that is now a workroom for the volunteers to where the door is there. And that's a normal size door. It's not like a wide door. Somehow that picture got a little wide. And you can see the wood ceiling is back. And the color of the trim is actually the original color that we found under all the paint of the trim in there. That's why we went with all of that.
All right, just help me get my bearings here. So which door would I come up those back stairs? Is it that door there with the there?
No, that coming up the...
from the parking lot.
Oh, no, we're standing at the door.
Okay.
We're looking, so the door is right behind us, and you're looking at what has been done.
Oh my gosh.
It was basically the same view as the pipe view.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Right. And then also you saw in that one picture there's a big glass door there.
Yeah.
That originally, that wasn't there. It was a window.
I don't remember
well,
that
it was
door.
originally a door.
Okay.
And at 1950 they took the door out and just made a window, and there was a porch that went out off of on the back that's no longer existing.
Okay.
And so we restored a door there, so if the porch ever gets put back on off the French doors in the Octagon room, then we have that
you have a door
also.
to nowhere.
Right now, there's a door to nowhere, and it's
that door locked.
It's more than locked. It's screwed tight. Anyway, so we have new joy. Everything's now upstairs. We won't have to worry about that storage room collapsing.
And so was it a new floor, or is that the same floor?
No, I just redid it.
It looks really nice.
Refinished
You did a good job.
Or didn't refinish it. I did some tweaking.
Okay, so you got rid of that kind of drab colored, whatever was green in there.
Oh, the greens. The greens, I call it Albert Wellman green. He was a decorator in 1950, and he used that green everywhere. It's going away as fast as we can make it go away.
Well, it looks really nice.
Okay, so we got to move because we're going to run out of time. Because the big stuff we haven't got to yet. Okay, so at the same time, the lower office, which is the library where Sherry used to work, if you were familiar with where she was, the floor was collapsing. And you can see the rod over there in the corner.
Water or termites? What is that?
Well, originally, when there was a porch outside there, all the water dumped down into that area, and so, but then after that, the porch was gone. The water stopped dumping there, so it all dried out into dry rot, and then Sherry was convinced she was going to fall through the hole. And in the corner where the worst was, that's where the indoor privy was. I said, well, you know, the problem was there was no access to it. It was like just built 4 inches off the ground, so we had to come in through the top. That's another story, but anyway, they took out part of the flooring, rebuilt all that, put flooring back in, and I don't know if we have another picture of that.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, so that's
that's
when
the
it's
same room?
fixed. Yes, you can see the flooring doesn't match the old flooring. I've got to get that cleaned and deal with that. At the same time, if you look up above, there's a white beam up there because upstairs it was also collapsing from the other room, our room, because they took a bearing wall out again down there in 1970s. They didn't learn the first time in 1950s. So they took a bearing wall out down there. This was all the servants' wing.
Oh my gosh.
And I think the next picture might show it clearer. Mm-hmm. There you go. So we had to put a beam going up from down below and then across, and we were able to do it without messing up the shelving and all that. Because all that shelving, we couldn't remove it. It was all built in place in 1970, so we had to work around all those issues.
John, how old is the McClurg itself?
Well, the McClurg itself will be 200 years next year. This wing is the servants' wing. It's more in the 1830s that was added on later. So that's the story.
So the building was ready for a good
Oh
overhaul.
yeah, it's been ignored for a long time.
200 years old,
Yeah.
wow, but still standing.
Right.
But the main structure is brick though, right?
3 layers of brick. The whole thing is brick.
Okay,
Right.
pretty solid.
Yeah, and phase 2 now we're working on will be the outside. So
Okay.
you'll see major things.
All right,
outside.
now we're looking at the stairwell.
Okay, so this is the way the stairs, the center stairs, we're standing in the entrance, the main entrance, and
Right.
that's what the center stairs used to look like,
All right.
that hallway.
So
okay?
again, for listeners, it's I don't know, what do you call this? Like a 90-degree turn on
a
it?
curved staircase that goes around. There's a big curved thing at the top
And
also.
this is where you would come down for your prom or
Right.
the debutantes or your wedding picture. Or
Now
whatever.
that wallpaper was put up in 1950, and
It's not green.
it's not green. Well, wait till you see what it becomes. Anyway, so that was the way it was for probably 50 years. So now the problem was the gallery upstairs was collapsing. We only had a few people go across, and the slope was pretty deep. So that started this whole project. So we ended up doing the entire first floor and second floor of the center hallway. Now let's go to another picture and see what we've got. We keep coming back to me. So we stripped the wallpaper, and that's what we found underneath.
That's interesting.
And then above there, that's the joists that all had to be replaced. They were sagging drastically.
So these were supporting that staircase.
Oh yeah, it's a
And the
hanging
upstairs-
staircase. Yes.
Okay.
And because it's 1820, 1817 probably is when that wood was cut and put in. It shrunk.
Sure.
It wasn't like getting ready to fall down. It was just shrinking away. But all of that was replaced at the same time. We've determined. You see the colors there on the walls underneath the wallpaper. It's kind of most of it's a peachy color, but then there's a darker, not orange, but sort of in that range. And also you'll see I took the wainscoting off the bottom, which was much newer at 1900, and discovered a nailer board for the chair rail and baseboards. So we have restored that also. I don't know what the next picture is. I think there's a series of me. So that is a close-up of what we had to rebuild.
So this wasn't waterlogged. This was just shrinking.
No, it was just shrinking and dying. When they put in the new joists, the part of that, and it's a narrow area upstairs, the gallery, a part of it jumped up 1.5 inches. That's how much that small little 6-foot area had sloped.
Wow. Yeah,
So-
I recall that was a little.
A little slope, a little shaky, yeah.
Okay.
And that's just another shot of the stairway going up, and we can go on that.
Okay, keep her going.
I wasn't sure what we needed.
there's
That's
a
a close-up
close-up.
of the chair rail. I call it a chair rail. It's lower than the chair rail, but the chair rail, and you can see the brick
They
wall.
were short then.
They were short, yeah. And the brick wall, that's an interior wall, and it's 3 layers of brick thick, which also causes all our problems.
John, there's that red. It looks like
Yeah, it's a mystery to me.
it would have been a picture. or-
Well, I have no idea.
Okay.
That's just a real mystery.
Okay.
Looks like someone was cleaning their brush. Anyway,
Oh.
that's what it looks like now.
Spectacular. So you took it from that gaudy wallpaper, and what do you call
now,
it? It's like a peach?
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't want to use the term that I call it, but
Okay, don't do that.
It's nothing. It's not a color I would ever choose for anything of my own.
Who chose the color?
Well, I did. It's historically a couple of things. Number one, it is a very popular color, 1800 to 1820.
Okay.
On top of that, it is the colors that we came up with that's the closest to what we found, especially in the upstairs.
All right.
So it was the color that was there. The woodwork has all been painted gray instead of the cream, which is also the original color that we found in some remaining woodwork there. So the woodwork is a very pale gray, and then we've got that, whatever the color is. And then there's two bands. There's a lighter tan color and then the gray. Where the little gray band is was actually green. I call it hospital green, and I refuse to do that.
Institutional.
So I did institutional green, and that one I did make an adjustment on.
Okay.
So that's what it looks like now with the floor, everything done.
So again, describing the picture, we've got the staircase going up. It's all been repaired, and the walls. I'm going to say peach.
Well, no, it's darker than that. This picture is not
peach.
quite the right one. Maybe a different picture will show up. See what our next one is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is just another shot of. Well, I don't know why these pictures are going so wide on us. Let's try a different one.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
So
now it looks like a burnt orange almost.
Yes, it's closer to that. Anyway, that's that area we just looked at before downstairs, and where the chair rail was and everything. We moved that, and it's not that wide. That pier mirror was in the parlor on the side wall. We had two pier mirrors in there, so we moved that one out here. That pier mirror came from what is now the president's house at SUNY Fredonia. And it looks great out there.
Okay,
now.
I want to ask you guys. You're saying you're calling that mirror something. What are you saying?
A pier mirror.
What's a pier mirror?
The term pier has to do with an architectural term. A pier holds up a wall, a building with two openings on either side. The pier is in between that holds up the wall.
P-I-E-R.
P-I-E-R, not pier like looking into.
Right, right.
And they're usually located between two windows.
Wow.
And that's why it was that way.
It's very ornate.
Yes.
Now, is that wood?
It's gilt wood, and then there's a rosewood and marble base on it.
Very, very nice.
So that's the pier mirror that now makes it looks much better.
Is this the front foyer then when you're coming in?
This is that center stairway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the same place. All of these pictures are there.
Okay. It's just gorgeous.
Yes. And then we moved other things around. I just finished that last week, rehanging. So there's tapestries now in there, the two tapestries. One's from the Jamestown families and one's from a different one. Anyway, and this is looking down the stairway from upstairs. Now, the reason I wanted to show this one, you see that diagonal line there?
I do.
That's where the original stairway went to the Widow's Walk.
What?
We're missing a whole set of stairs. We hope someday we will restore it. It comes off the second story, goes up to a landing, and the angle's not right because it's been expanded, the picture, but goes up to a landing, goes up again, and wraps around, and you'll see shortly here what we did upstairs if we go to the next picture.
All right, so then the staircase actually would almost been a spiral going all up another. Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Hanging off the wall, which is probably why it was removed.
Yeah.
So let's see. Now, upstairs, above,
a sight.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of out of because it's all been redone. There was a small room above what is now what was the ceiling, and we removed that section, and this is where it went up to the landing. So this has not been seen since 1900. So we took the floor out of the ceiling, what we're looking at the bottom of, and you'll see, I hope, what it looks like now.
Is there anything in there when you got in there?
Rubble.
Nothing really cool.
Now, see up above the stripe there?
Yeah.
That's what you were just looking at prior to that. It's now open the whole way, the way it was originally open.
Gotcha.
So where the stripe is there, the horizontal stripe, that was where the ceiling was. And we've taken the ceiling out and taken it back to the original configuration of 1820.
Wow, that is way cool.
And next picture.
Now, with the Widow's Peak, that was to look out to the lake, right? Okay.
We have a picture of the railing up there. We hope to someday, maybe not in my lifetime, restore everything. But
Okay.
And You can see it stops right there, that stripe, the diagonal one, stops there because that's where the stairway would curve back around and go to the landing. And I think we have a picture maybe of the landing upstairs, the next one. No, we didn't have it. Too bad you lose. So that's the major, that was our major event. That
so who
happened.
did all this work? Contractors?
Contractors. That was all done by Rayner. That didn't, the problem was that was supposed to be done before our Christmas party open house thing, but they got all swamped with the weather last fall, and I said, if you can't have it by our Victorian tea, you can't come until after. So they didn't come in until January. That's why everything got like backed up. This is that was the military room that we're working on, and that's all been, that's in process. So what they're doing there is removing an oak, very thin oak floor, going back to the original plank floors underneath it. It's just below that flat roof we saw in the beginning.
So plank flooring.
So big wide planks. You'll see it in a second. Okay. But that's the oak floor that was put in around.
Oh, so they're taking this out.
They're taking it. We just threw it away.
It looked like they were installing.
And that's what we ended up with. And there was some kind of paper on it, something or other. And I don't know if we have a better view of that. Whatever the next view is, let's see what we've got. Next view.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I seem to be the next view.
There you go.
Okay, so they had to, there are two different kinds. There's planks, and then there's yellow pine that was done at a later date when this addition was put on. So we had to have custom-made flooring for the yellow pine part that they wove into it, because of course it's not the size that they make today.
Right.
And then the other part is plank. The reason we didn't care is because the floor sanders are coming in this week, and then it'll all be painted. It'll all be painted, so it doesn't matter. That it is, because it's not going to be finished. The second floors were always painted. You see, there's planks, and that's the color of the floor, original floor there. That's in our tub room. I had to remove this last week. I removed the toilet, the 1900 toilet, and because I had to get the floor ready for the sanders to come in, because they're also doing the tub room.
That's off
right upstairs. Oh, no, upstairs. That toilet has not been used for 75 years. It was chained closed, so you couldn't open it. I think somebody might have used it, tried to.
Okay, we have a caller.
Okay, was that the last picture?
Yep.
Okay, so we're done.
That was perfect timing. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. This is Linda Spalding. Good morning, John Paul, and good morning, Doc. It's great to hear all the history. I love it when you come on. It's so fascinating around here.
Well, sometimes.
I didn't pay her.
Yeah, no, I pay her.
I don't want to, disrupt your show because
I'm done.
You're telling so many wonderful things. But there is a really good book that's out that you might be interested in. It's just been published. It's called Presidents of War.
And I heard about that.
And it goes back to, I think, 1807, before the War of 1812, up to the present. And it's a real history book. It is absolutely, if you like history, it's magnificent.
Is there a TV special going to be on called Presidents of War?
Yes, but that only covers, that doesn't go, I don't think that goes back that far.
Okay.
It covers mostly World War II stuff.
So Lynn, have you read that book?
I'm reading it now.
Oh, right.
It's, well, I ordered it from the library, and it's large print, which is okay, and the large print is 900 pages, so you figure that the book itself, regular print, would be, around 500 maybe?
Could be, yeah.
But it's got dates and press releases and quotes from the Gazettes and all these footnotes. It is a wonderful book. Great. I highly recommend it for anybody who likes history.
Super.
Yeah, and he spends quite a bit of time talking about Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
And his visit to Westfield. And
doesn't everyone?
Where was the Bedell House in Westfield?
On Washington Street.
Okay.
I can't remember. I can't remember the address. I can never remember the address, but
okay.
It's been changed a little bit. The porch has been remodeled and everything. New owners, and they've taken off some of the stuff to try to make it go back to what it looked like a little bit.
Okay, cool. Okay, super.
Okay, well, we're looking especially now for a office aide or clerk in the Dunkirk office. This is a position that can be with our subsidized program, and it can lead to a job off the program. So I'm really looking for applicants, and I advertised also with the New York State Department of Labor. So people should contact me. This is a good time to be looking for jobs.
Okay, and for our listeners, the number is?
The number at the Office for the Aging is 753-4471.
Super. Okay, Lynn.
Have a great day. And,
yeah, batten down the hatches.
Yeah, tomorrow 75 miles an hour winds. That's hurricane.
Yeah.
There was a hurricane wind. So
All right.
everybody be safe.
All right, take care. Thanks for calling.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
We have a second caller. This is on call.
Oh.
This is unbelievable. Good morning, caller. We have a second caller?
Hello?
Mike!
Hi, Doc.
Mike from Portland.
It is Mike from Portland.
Mike from Portland.
Mike from Portland. I thought I'd call in this morning. I don't know if John Paul remembers me or not.
I'll say I do.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. But anyways, we actually met at Tops Market in Westfield, so I'll give you a little hint. But anyways, I always enjoy it when you're on the show, John Paul, and I enjoy the stories you tell. And I'm glad you were on today because I didn't know the museum was reopened.
Well, it hasn't been yet. It'll be in 2 days, 3 days.
Okay, well, I think I can find... I'm sure I'll find something to do to fill those 2 or 3 days. But yeah, I will definitely want to get up there and see the place. I haven't done that yet. So
it looks great. The colors are fabulous, I think. Even though they may not have been your choice, but it does really look better.
It was
than
a
it
controversy.
well, I think, getting it as close to the original as possible.
That was the plan.
Yeah, that's always a good idea, in a building like yours. But yeah, I've been wanting to come up, and now once the weather breaks a little and we don't have 75-mile-per-hour winds, why I'll try to get up there.
Okay.
It's good for a whole family. It's a great place.
It's true.
Okay. All right. Well, like I say, I'll make sure. If I remember right, you're open Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4.
Okay. All right. Thanks, John Paul.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Take care.
Okay. Bye, Doc.
Be safe.
No, I didn't pay him for that. I don't even know who he is.
Two callers in the
Mike,
same show.
Mike from the Tops.
That's Mike Felsman from Portland, so that's great to hear from Mike. Okay, so we got a couple minutes left, so...
we can talk about the projects that aren't finished, so they didn't have pictures.
Have at it.
So on top of everything else, we moved the water line that's 120 years old from where it was, and it was also, we had already replaced the water, the lines in the house, but we needed to get that water line from Elm Street over to the museum replaced because it was about the size of a pea coming in. There was no water pressure. And so that was moved, and at the same time, we buried the electric and the cable and the phone. Right now it's a mud hole in the driveway because of all the digging. So that was buried, and we moved it all in preparation for who knows when, for the elevator, because everything was coming in where the elevator was supposed to go.
You have an elevator there?
No, we don't. But I work to the future, so we needed all this stuff out of the place where the elevator was going.
Put the elevator in.
So now we have that opened up for, if somebody decides to give us the $250,000, $300,000. The elevator we have the plans, rough plans. It'll be basement, first floor, second floor. It'll cover the whole building, handicap accessible, and from outside.
That'd be great.
Anyway, so we're phase one of getting that ready. So the First Nations room is all torn up because of the new water line came in that area, and the electric, they're doing that on Tuesday, so we won't have any power on Tuesday, supposedly for a while. And then we have to redo the First Nations room, and we're having a whole new floor surface put in there that they're just waiting for me to call and say, come and
just about out of time.
Okay.
So when are you going to, official reopening is on?
No official. I'm shooting for Thursday.
Okay.
Look for the flag if you're in town. If the flag's out of the back porch, because we don't use the front porch in the winter.
So usually by the first of the month, then you should.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. If not, I'll be resigning.
And John, a phone number if somebody wanted to
326-2977, and that's for reservations for the annual meeting also.
Okay. John Wolfe has been my guest today, the curator of the McClurg Mansion, as well as part of the Chautauqua County Historical Society. I got it right for a change. And you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I hope that you've all enjoyed the show. I have, as always. John, please do come back and keep us posted on what's going on there. We're going to do this all again next Saturday morning, and we'll see you then, 9 o'clock on 1301 Access Chautauqua on Spectrum. Take care. Be safe. Bye now.